Hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. Alrighty, well, I had a completely different video in mind for today, but it didn't work out, so it's not worth showing you. So, the ones that have been following me for a while know that I have an off-grid power system, but my backup power is the grid power. And I'm sitting here running through things in my mind. My backup power is the grid power. So when my battery bank gets low, it switches back to the grid power and recharges my batteries. And if it's the sun shining, my solar panels are also charging the batteries. So it charges fairly fast, and I am getting some power from the panels into the batteries. But when it switches at night, it's complete grid power. So I've been wanting to get this thing pushed along and get my well is the only thing on my property that doesn't run on my off-grid power. And that's important. Y'all know water is important. So I've got well over 1,000 gallons stored. But so I started putting in, let me flip y'all around. So I started putting in this little sub panel on the right hand side of my meter base combo right there. And I'm in the process of moving both my buildings and the range power and all, and it's going to be greenhouse as well, into the sub panel and just feed that sub panel off my off grid. So the well will be in there, everything. So I paid an electrician to come put in a soft start, which is supposed to help lower the amperage that the well draws. I'll open it up and show y'all, but you can't see nothing really. The soft start is right there. It's supposed to lower the amperage that the well draws when it starts up. So instead of starting up, instead of starting up in a few seconds, it may start up over about 30 seconds to 1 minute, so it doesn't spike as high on the power. And that's what I was hoping would solve my well issue, to where I can run my well on my inverter. Because honestly, I should have bought a little bit bigger inverter. I've got a 4,000 watt continuous, but it's split phase pure sine wave, and it's a SunGold. It's been good. The problem is it's only 2,000 watts per leg, and before I went to this more higher end inverter, I was actually running, my whole house is 120 volt. So I was running it off a 3,000 watt continuous 120 volt inverter. And I didn't think about I'm dropping 1,000 watts off each leg when I went to the pure sine wave 240. So that's my fault. There's nothing wrong with the inverter. It does its job. But the well's peaking at 19 amps, and then the inverter shuts off. It's overloading it. And I need to get a bigger inverter, and that just, it hurts my feelings. I'm being honest with you, because I know what it's going to cost me to upgrade to the next size inverter, and I'm just not happy about it. But it is what it is. It's my mistake. I didn't buy one big enough, and just for another 200 bucks, I could have got one big enough. So at some point in time, I'm pulling another sucker off the tomato plants right here. And when I see them, I pull them off. Anyway, at some point in time, I'm going to have to buy a much bigger inverter. I'm going to go from this 4,000 watt to a 6,000, which will be 3,000 on each side. And if I could get a 12 or 24 volt 8,000, I may go with an 8,000 when I decide to get a bigger inverter, because the 8 will definitely be more power than I'll need here on the homestead. But 6,000 would do the job. So that's what I've been doing for the last few hours. I got out there since the baby birds have hatched and have flown away, and I knocked the nest down and all. I've been out there for the last couple hours. It was 93 today, feel like 104 or something, 105. So I started late afternoon, and I'd get soaking wet, sweat dripping off my eyes, and I'd go inside and cool off, and then I'd come back out and do a little more. So then finally the sun's down like it is now. All of this is in the shade behind the big trees there. So I finally got finished with it, and I turned it on, and yes, the well will come on and run for about 10 seconds. And then the inverter shuts off because it's maxing it out. And I could have swore that inverter was a 30 amp, but apparently 19 is overloading it, and I don't understand why. So I may just have to get my electrician friend to come out here and make sure I did everything exactly right and see if we can't solve the problem, or he can confirm that I'm just going to have to buy a bigger inverter, which, like I said, is going to hurt my feelings. But it is what it is. It's my fault. So that was my plan for today, was to show y'all that everything works on the homestead. All of it, the outbuildings and everything was going to be running off my inverter, and it will. Everything except the well. Both my old building, my little mini barn, the range, the house, everything runs off the off-grid power except for my well. And I do have a gas and propane generator over there I can crank and run the well on. That's not the problem. The problem is you have to store that gas. And if I've got off-grid power, why not get it to run on there? So I've got a few options. One is to increase my inverter size so I've got the power I need. Two, pull the well and put a 120 volt or a lower horsepower, lower amperage motor in it. Or three, stick with the backup gas and propane powered generator. And I don't want to do that. So that's where I'm at. Let me show y'all something though. I got a squash that's just about ready to pick. It could be picked right now. And there's a couple other small baby ones on the plants. Most of them are males, but there are a few baby ones, and that one baby on the bottom doesn't look good. But I've got some squash, and I'm pleased with that. So I've got a lot of stray cats that show up over here. And this past Saturday, all my grandkids were here, and they get to playing pretty wild and crazy. And it looks like the youngest boy ran across my flower beds here and the strawberry bed over there, which he should have known better, but he's only 6, y'all. I can't fuss about that, but he didn't step on any plants. But here is the sweet cherry tomatoes. This one, there's one, there's 2, and that one may not make it. 3, 4, 5. I thought there was another one there, but 6, 7. I thought there was more than that in this bed. All I'm seeing 7. So either there was more and they didn't make it, or what, but there's 7. So this bed, I planted just as many, if not more, and I've only got 2 cherry tomato plants, red cherry tomato plants that came up. The rest of them never did sprout. But hey, that's more than I had. And then over here, I've got a lot of basil planted across there and across here. And then I've got a cantaloupe that made it. So, and then over here again, we've got some dill and the soybean. And of course this bed, and I haven't even been out here today, is the alpine strawberries. So today is just 1 or 2 days past 2 weeks from where we planted these things, and it takes about that long for them to come up. And there's 4 footprints across this thing, but I don't see any coming up. So I'm leaning toward just turning this soil and fertilizing it real good. There's something coming up right there. I'm not sure what it is. Not sure what that is, but anyway. That's what I'm leaning toward, is just turn this soil and get it good and fertilized and then plant something else when weather cools off. So this tomato plant is done reached the top of the grow stakes, and it's doing really well. I've been pruning the bottom limbs off these things because there was no blooms or anything on them, and that means they're just taking nutrients from what could be tomatoes. And this one is growing pretty good. Oh, that's a good sized sucker on there. Pull that off. And I've been checking every day for tomato hornworms, and I have not seen any more. This one's undoubled in size. And this is the plant that had the tomato hornworm on it, but it's grown quite a bit as well. And like these here, I let my grandson water over the weekend. It looks like he hit them with too much pressure and laid some of them over, but that's all right. He's learning. So that one's come up quite a bit. So I know I'm late in the season, but they seem to be doing okay so far. I wish I had tomatoes, but I don't. All right, and there's an eggplant, and this is an eggplant. Now I do have 1, 2, 3. I got at least 4 tomatoes that are growing over there. All right, so here is, it's about time to cut grass again. Here is one of the fig trees. It is coming along really, really nice. And walk over to the second one here. It's coming along pretty good, not quite as big as the other. And let's go look at the one that lost its leaves and we, didn't think it would make it or had a chance not to make it. Look at there. It's got new leaves on it. It's going to come back. So I am pleased with that. All 3 of the fig trees, thank you, Mr. Tom. All 3 of the fig trees are doing very well. So I walked and checked. My grandson yesterday, the day before yesterday, picked a peach off the peach tree here in the chicken pen. Let me flip back around. Y'all see, it's just loaded with peaches. They're everywhere. But the bugs have gotten into about 99% of them. Well, he found one that didn't have any marks from a bug on it and picked it and brought it to me. And I said, Reed, it wasn't ripe yet. It's still hard and green. It needed to keep growing. But I could have put one of those bug protector bags over it and kept that thing in good condition so we'd have one to eat. But it's all right. He didn't know no better. Now he does. But I've been picking blueberries. I've already got the majority of them, but they still a good amount every day. And I did collect eggs from the middle pen earlier. So something I wanted to talk to y'all about. Y'all know these hens are just now about a year old. And this is the first time any of these hens have attempted to set on some eggs. And if you look, let me zoom in. Let me get up here where I can zoom y'all in. She's still there. So black sex link setting on 7 eggs. Well, it was 7 eggs. Now it's 6. One of them got broke. Just about every other day I come out and 1 or 2 of those eggs is moved around to another nesting box. And she's still sitting on the middle. Well, then she moved to the right. I came out yesterday or the day before, I don't remember, y'all. And all the eggs were moved over into the right nesting box and she was on them. But earlier today I came out and 3 of the eggs were over in the left nesting box and she was sitting on the middle nesting box. I just don't know that any of those 7 eggs or 6 eggs now are going to hatch because she is moving around too much. And chickens will move the eggs up under them. So maybe she moved them or the other chickens get up there and lay and move them. I don't know, but I just don't expect any of those eggs to hatch. The baby chicks are doing really well. there's actually 2 up on that next to the bottom roost now. See, it just jumped down. So out of the 12, all 12 are still there. They're all doing really well, but they're having to get used to being outside, and they don't really need the light. But that light is for their heat during the night. When it gets down into the low 70s, it's been getting down to 72, 73, and they might need a little bit at night, so that's why I've got the light on. When they all go to roosting and not using the light, then again, I'll unplug that light and let them grow up normally like the rest of them. But they're doing really well. So I'm probably going to incubate more. Flip y'all back around. All right, I'm probably going to incubate more eggs once these babies are old enough that I can move them into the middle pen, and then I'll start again with some babies in the end pen with the barnyard mix hen that's in there with them. So ever since she has had that limp, I can't find anything wrong with her, but she still limps a little bit. But every egg she lays, guys, looks like it's ready to crack around the middle. So I'm wondering if there's something wrong with her internally, that maybe a broke bone or something that I can't tell. And that egg looks like it's ready to be cracked when it comes out. I mean, I don't sell those because if you look at it, there's like a hairline crack just about all the way around on it, on just about every egg she lays. So I don't sell those. I use those for myself in the morning, or my grandkids, whatever. But anywho, I'm a little disappointed. Got the wind knocked out of me with that soft start. Now that's the only soft start I could find. It came from Amazon. My daughter bought it for me after I found it. My boss tried to find me one before I ever worked for him, and he couldn't find one. So if I could slow the startup time down to like it says, I should be able to lower the peak power that the well is drawing. It shuts off as soon as it hits 19. If I can stop it at 17 or 16 and let the well start even slower than it is now, then maybe I can get it to run on the off-grid power. So I'm probably going to have my buddy Joe, electrician, come out here that put that soft start in for me and see if he can figure it out and maybe get it to run off my off-grid power. But I don't know. So anyway, that's an update on the homestead, guys. It's so hot you really can't do much during the day. My grandkids, like I said, were here Saturday. Both my daughters and my oldest daughter and her husband were here. My middle daughter and her husband, he was at work. Actually, he's on night shift. He's a law enforcement officer. So he was actually sleeping because he had worked the night before. And this is last weekend on nights for 3 months. So anywho, I appreciate you guys following along. I will get it figured out eventually. But it's just like everything else you do. You just throw enough money at it, eventually the problem will go away. And my problem is I don't have that much to blow. There's other issues in my life going on that I need to take care of. So, and I just noticed the feeder in the middle pins broke. They just broke the top part off and it's sitting on the ground, which ain't gonna hurt it. But now I gotta order a new feeder. So that's gonna take a little while. Them things used to be 15, 20 bucks. Now they're 50. So, and that one ain't that old. It's probably one of the newest ones. It's like they make them out of nothing nowadays and it just don't hold up well. So it'll be all right. I'll use it like it is until I get a new feeder. It'll take a couple weeks. So either way, it is what it is. I appreciate you guys following along. Thank you for subscribing, hitting the thumbs up, leaving me comments. I really, really do appreciate y'all way more than I could ever express. Y'all remember what I've always told you. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe, be prepared. Grow some food. And if you can, produce your own power. Y'all be good.